Welcome to Confessions of an SEO. This is your host, Carolyn Holzman. If you're new, welcome to the least SEO podcast out there. This is what I call love letters to the SEO industry and the businesses who they serve. If you're looking for shiny, new SEO tactics, pay attention, because if there is one in here, it's completely by accident. Mostly, this is going to be about the people side of SEO. My intention is to put a human face on a much misunderstood and maligned industry. To be honest, frank, and blunt, which are all the friends of Snow White that didn't make the cut. I believe the farmer and the cowboy should be friends, and there's lots of money to be made when we can understand each other better. So if you're an SEO or a business owner out there working with an SEO marketing group, this is for you. Agnostic information from someone who's been there on both sides, a brick and mortar business owner just trying to get more business, and a seriously seeking SEO researcher and tester. Today's topic is core web vitals. Do not grab a pen or paper just yet. Today, I want to address a few core issues. First, in layman's terms, what the heck are core web vitals? Second, what does this mean for you as an SEO and therefore to your clients? And thirdly, what does this really mean for you as a business owner? For those who listen regularly, you know that I'm a hardcore tester. I'm not parroting Google's press releases or webmaster guidelines. And if you want that BS, you can Google for it. You won't find it here. For those that are just getting to know me, testing is how I'm confident about the things I do and say when it comes to SEO. And I am not alone in this. There is a small and growing SEO testing community. I was there in the beginning of SEO testing in 2015, not because I intended to be, but my curiosity put me there. And the answers revealed by the testing is what I wouldn't trade for anything. It's been true freedom. Freedom from Google and gurus. So if you hear the words SEO testing and your brain just did a double take, yeah, it is possible to run test pages alone in the SERPs. Google will index them when they are indexing, and then we're able to pick up possible hints on how best to, quote, talk to Google. If we know there are certain zones that are more highly valued than others, why wouldn't we use them? And if we know that Google is sort of deaf in another zone, we can stop using it and just stop wasting resources. So when we test, we share things. As a colleague calls it, painless learning. When we learn what someone else has tested, it's not like a guru situation where you can only glean the deepest, darkest hints from one person or one group. A tester, a real tester, encourages you to test for yourself, not to take their word for it. But if you know who you're getting that information from and you know they are a tester, the odds increase that following that same principle into your project and into the SERPs, you're going to achieve more of what you want. I remember, as I'm talking about this, I'm remembering the first time I saw somebody play the piano. It was my brother. I was around 3 years old, and the keys were right at eye height for me, and I was really mesmerized by the visual patterns. You know, some keys are pressed down and others are not. So it's kind of like if you were watching a player piano for the first time. So all I could tell was there were dots and lines on a page, and he was able to tell what they were, and I heard her tune, and it felt like magic to this little person. And that's kind of how it is for business owners. A lot of this SEO stuff feels like magic. And quite frankly, a lot of time, even to other SEOs, testing feels like magic. So I just say all that so that what I'm about to say, it may feel like, magic, but you're welcome to take what you like and leave the rest. It makes no difference to me. So first, what are core web vitals? Google says it's a page experience score that will become a ranking factor. So there's a new section in Google's Search Console that literally has everyone and their brother coming up with the latest and greatest how to improve your core web vitals information. Now, that involves a huge assumption that what you're seeing in there right now is indicative of something you must fix. A friend of mine, Ted Kubitis, he's a creator of SEO software tools, Quora, He's at the front edge of this. And from what we know right now, this is going to score based on how well your website is handled on the client's server, the one that you do not have control over. And Google is saying it's going to be a ranking factor, implying like it's going to count more than relevancy, and that relevancy is not going to guide what shows on the results pages. So to put it in a real world situation, if someone is standing at a bus stop and searching on their phone, Google might filter out perfectly relevant sites that require more time to load and replace them with faster sites who have better scores of user experience but may not be as relevant to the user. Why? What problem does that solve? These are questions we would have to ask. Are we all going to jump through hoops like we're trying to get those little green lights in Yoast? And let's remember there are lots of ranking factors. And unlike baseball, there are no ties. So some are going to be more important than others. So the question is, are they really going to make Core Web Vitals factors more important than your title tag? Seriously. Second, what does this mean for you as an SEO and therefore to your client? Well, right now, Google is rolling out an update. The JavaScript rendering system has been broken for about 2 months. How do we know? Testing. It's just coming back online as I speak. How do we know? Testing. So the more informed you are as an SEO provider, you can guide your client through this process. Everybody is going to be emailing them, calling them, telling them that their site is all messed up. So you can advise them not to be unduly concerned at this time about Core Web Vitals if they ask or if you update them. And I believe you should. So this ability to know this is your value, not the green lights. And if you are with your client, make sure they understand that. Any time that you spend right now trying to, improve your Core Web Vitals, in my opinion, it's a waste. It's a waste of time. It hasn't been rolled out yet. So thirdly, what does this really mean for you as a business owner? If you're working with an SEO or you're doing it on your own, if you're listening, how much sense does it make to spend resources and time over something that Google hasn't fully implemented yet? All indications are that barring some huge rewrite of the algorithm, the logic in scoring your website, where it sorts out when people search for something related to you, not a brand name, because your brand name should always come up. The best use of your time, if you're doing this yourself, and I don't recommend that you do. I think you need a good SEO. And no, don't call me. Is the best use of your time is increasing the relevancy of the page. And that would be reinforced by using the most powerful zones on your page, on that particular page. That's things like your title tag, the content, the words you use on your page that are relevant to your topic. So my advice right now, in other words, is chill out until Google has this new factor online and working. That's the other part that they don't tell you about. Anything you do now is really busy work. And who has the time for that? Well, this brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you for listening. Feel free to send your questions, comments to confessions@AmericanWayMedia.com. And if you want to go back and listen to the other episodes, why I love SEO, why I don't like client SEO, all that awaits you. And please, I need your help to get the word out to other SEOs and business owners about this podcast. So please let your friends know that this is here. We stand to make a lot more business and success for each other when we both, the SEOs and the business owners, understand each other better. This is your host, Carolyn Holzman. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the service.